The Quest hasn't seen as much love as you might expect when it comes to city builders. Sure, we've had Day Sim, which came out on SideQuest long before it made its way to the App Lab, and a few months ago we got Space Folk City, which mixes up its cute presentation with almost Escher-like city architecture. Still, traditional city builders haven't had much of a presence on our little standalone headsets until now. We've got two games coming out. Cities VR releases today and is Cities Skylines' younger, more basic VR sibling, developed and published by Fast Travel Games. And we've got Little Cities, developed by Purple Yonder and published by Endreams, and that's coming pretty soon, in a couple of weeks. Both these games target almost exactly the same audience, and while I can't discuss my experience with Little Cities before its embargo breaks on launch day, it's clear from the marketing and gameplay videos that we've seen of the two that Little Cities is positioning itself as the more accessible title. If you're an avid city building fanatic with money to spare, you might want to buy both games as each comes out. But if you're only in the market for one of them, you might want to wait until both are released and we can compare them against each other before we recommend one over the other. But for now, I can tell you how I feel about Cities VR from my experience with it so far. When you first load up Cities VR, it presents a menu offering around 10 starting locations and defaults to giving you a tutorial. However, once I got into the game, I found the tutorial clunky, giving you instructions via a 2D layer whose graphics don't always match what you see on screen. The first time I played the game, I got stuck during the first part of the tutorial because it asked me to connect my city to the highway. What city? I had no city. The graphical instructions showed me a roundabout, which I couldn't find anywhere, and seemed to indicate that I should connect my absent city to that roundabout. Are you confused? Well, so was I. To continue, I had to ignore what I was being shown completely and extend the highway that I could see to the empty landscape that I spawned above. Okay, fine, but not a great start, Cities. As the game went on, I didn't always understand what was going on. The confusion went on, and sure, maybe none of this is confusing if you're a Cities Skyline veteran, but I'm not. Okay, my residential areas needed water, so I built a water pumping station. Now I have to connect it to the residential areas. Do I have to connect pipes to all the houses, or is it sufficient to connect to one of any interconnected series of houses? The game never tells you, and you'll have to figure it out while your citizens and your city's income suffer your incompetence. But it's a city builder, so you know the drill. Build streets, build residential zones, commercial zones, and industrial zones. Supply utilities by building water pumping stations, wind turbines, etc. Tax the citizens, allocate budgets to various resources, and watch your city flourish. Cities VR seems to offer a good amount of micromanagement and will absolutely eat up your time if this is the sort of thing you enjoy. My main gripes with the game so far, from the time I've spent with it, are that the tutorial is terrible, the game is janky, the graphics stutter somewhat, and there's some noticeable pop-up when you turn your head. Trees suddenly pop into existence. It's not a big deal, but it's immersion breaking and makes you feel that the game isn't entirely happy to be running on your headset. Movement is also very limiting. You can move around laterally with a thumbstick and you can teleport, but you're restricted to 2 height levels throughout the game. You can see things as though from a relatively high building or a bird's eye view. There's nothing closer and nothing in between. You can't swoop in to examine the structures you've built or the graphics or the cars driving around in your little city. Overall, Cities VR looks like it has a lot of depth, but the first impressions are that it's janky and that you're better off waiting a couple of weeks until we can compare it to Little Cities. Maybe make your decision then. Have a great day. If this video has been useful, please give us a like. If you like our channel, give us a subscribe. And if you have any ideas about content you'd want us to cover, videos you'd like us to make, give us suggestions in the comments below.